welcome back. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show this beautiful Tuesday morning, live from Enugu, Nigeria, this Tuesday morning. Of course, I'm not here alone. Orji Nwachukwu is seated here as well. Orji.
Yeah, the week is running already.
The week is running already. And INEC is getting ready for 2027, telling people to go register online. How optimistic do you feel?
Are we meant to be optimistic in Nigeria now? You know, the by-election, just saw what happened, right? And by-elections that happened even before this by-election, right? We've been saying that the same old crop, the same thing we experienced in 2023 elections, that's the same thing that is still happening, right? And well, I think we have to put in consideration that at this point in time, that's election reform needs to be on the front burner. It has to be occupying all the conversations right now in the country, because that's the only way we can avert this thing in 2027 elections.
Yes, you know, Nnamdi said something very important yesterday. He said corruption is not just, it's the people.
Yeah.
If you're a corrupt person, you attract corruption to you.
What's corruption? Corruption is you and I. I'm not saying we are corrupt, by the way, sorry dear. I'm just saying corruption, we breathe corruption, right?
Yeah.
We indulge in corruption, right? Because if you and I are not corrupt, what's corruption?
Yeah. Okay, so before you continue to throw this corruption thing around, please, let's use sometimes
just an analogy, right?
You just say if person A and person B are corrupt. That's what it's almost like you're saying, okay, what if it's not saying what if you die, you say what if person A or person B dies. Just come up with a name.
I'm just trying to let us see how this thing is, right? We are the ones who breathe these things.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at headlines making the news this morning. And rest assured, INEC is going to make the front covers of our Nigerian dailies. We'll start with Nigerian News Direct and the top story here. Canadian court ruling. APC, PDP must prove they are not terrorist organizations, according to Falana. Warns ruling could impact Nigeria's democracy international standing. Says verdict may affect visas, deportations of party members abroad. What a reckless fabrication, APC National Publicity Secretary claps back. PASEC petitions Labour Minister over alleged forgery fraud in ASS BIFI leadership. APC mourns National Chairman's mother, describes loss as colossal. How Nigerian undergraduates are balancing TikTok tech skills survival with studies. Tinubu commissions 40,000 CBM LPG vessel named after late mother. From there, we'll move on to Nigerian Tribune and the cover story here. Voter turnout concerns over steady decline in 26 years. Stakeholders blame political office holders how to get out of quagmire. The Patriots, Adeniran, Shitu, others speak. Nigerians should help protect Ocean Council funds. Nolge cries out. My being alive is for a purpose, according to Ladoja. Paternity crisis, 1 in 4 Nigerian men not biological fathers. This is according to a report. In health, new diabetes subtype found in African youths. Away from there, still on Nigerian Tribune, US, UK governments commend the federal government rebuttal over arrest of terror kingpins. US Embassy requires 5-year social media disclosure for Nigerian visa applicants. RMAFC begins revenue allocation. And straight to the Whistler, Tinubu commissions WAGL's 40,000 cubic meters LPG vessel in South Korea. Hails companies' partners for expanding Africa's clean energy role. Vessel named Iyaloja Lagos, president's daughter, graces inauguration. Foreign portfolio inflows into NGX rise 144% to 55.93 billion naira. Man stabs girlfriend to death in Port Harcourt over cheating allegation. FRSC blames impatient motorists for Lokoja-Abuja road prolonged gridlock. JAMB inaugurates committee to probe 6,458 for exam frauds. Slow ICT adoption threatens Nigeria's education investments. This is according to TET Fund. On Vanguard, federal government vows equal response as U.S. tightens visa rules. Paternity crisis, 1 in 4 Nigerian fathers not biological parents, a report says. 2027, Atiku, Obi and Mechi will stay united without presidential ticket. according to ADC. 2.2 million poor households to receive federal government's cash transfer, according to Minister. NGE raises alarm over economy insecurity, media suppression. U.S. British government's Northern Can laud federal government NSA over arrest of terror kingpins. Revenue Commission begins fresh allocation formula. And on the matrix, federal government reviews revenue sharing formula. Federal government to set 45.17%, states 29.79%, LG's 21.04%. Review long overdue given Nigeria's shifting economic, political realities. This according to RMAFC. Tinubu commissions WAGL's 40,000 CBM LPG vessel in South Korea. JAMB gives varsities October deadline to wrap up 2025 admissions. Prove you're not terrorist groups, Falana to APC PDP. Of course, also here, Sabrina slams BB Niger over ban despite medical clearance. Also here, EPL controversial penalty hands Leeds United vital victory against Everton. And lastly here, Royal Rumble, Alaafin issues Ooni 48-hour ultimatum over Sanusi's Okanlomo Yorubaland title.
Started from Daily Independent visa application. Nigerians to provide 5-year social media activity attributed to U.S. Embassy. U.S. British governments commend FG NSA over arrest of terror kingpins. Indigenous contractors accuse FG of favoring foreign coins. Editors express concern over complex challenges facing Nigeria. Urge government to address economy insecurity governance. Tinubu says Nigeria poised to deliver LPG beyond Africa. Inaugurates WAGL's 40,000 CBM LPG vessel in South Korea. Lawmaker proposes ranches in 774 local government areas. FCT 2027. A near-shore victory for U.S. as party. 2027, a near-shore victory for us as party, says APC. Tinubu's aid mocks coalition leaders over by-elections defeats. CVR, 69,376 Nigerians pre-register in 7 hours, says INEC. Tinubu arrives in Japan ahead of TICAD-9 summit. Moving over to Daily Sun. Paternity scam rises nationwide. Reports show 1 in 4 children likely to fail DNA test. Outcome: APC feels betrayed in Anambra, rules out Tinubu's support for Tinubu. US, UK can commend FG NSA over arrest of terror kingpins. US releases new visa guidelines for Nigeria. And moving over to Daily Times. Contractors besiege FCTA over 5 billion naira debts as Wike denies awarding contracts. Over 3 million displaced by flood insecurity in Nigeria, says FG. While we are reviewing revenue sharing formula attributed to RMAFC, INEC pre-registers 69,376 voters online in 7 hours. Tinubu arrives Japan for TICAD-9 to deepen ties, push African investment agenda. Lastly, 54 billion naira education spending questionable. FENRA tells Abia governor. Moving over to The Guardian. New licensing charges on settled port operators, 3.5 trillion naira investment. Osun LG workers alleged bid to hijack council funds. Presidential ticket. We are under pressure to zone, says ADC. Overtime import cargoes worth 2.3 billion naira lying idle at ports. APC, PDP, and MPP kick alleged fraud in Oyo, Kaduna, Kano by-elections. US, UK commend Nigeria for arresting terrorist leaders. My journey to throne bumpy but guided by God, says Ladoja. NCC accuses high-profile Nigerians of worsening illegal SIM registration. Guild of Editors bemoans complex challenges facing Nigeria. Lastly, on The Guardian, Agric Minister to share insights on export-driven economy at First Bank Conference. Moving over to the last one right here, The Punch. FGMO's pay rise for political office holders. RMAFC says Tinubu's 1.5 million naira salary ministers under 1 million naira pay low. Launches revenue sharing review. Customs issue 14-day deadline to seize 905 overtime cargoes. Crisis alert. UNICEF seeks life-saving 240 billion naira for Nigeria and 8 projects. Fubara eyes September 18 comeback as Abbas pushes project's completion. Global leaders begin high-stakes talks to end Russia-Ukraine war. PENCOM blacklists 7 mortgage banks over housing loans breach. 2 motorcyclists remanded for allegedly raping Ondo teenager. Lastly, Osun NULGE battles AGF over seized funds suit transfer.
Well, thank you, Orji, for those headlines. I mean, a lot of headlines here. I think we'll start from Nigerian News Direct. The Canadian court ruling labeling PDP, APC, Nigeria's major political parties as terrorist organizations. Now, details on that, we're seeing the court ruling that basically said, well, PDP, APC described it as ignorant and mischievous, dismissing it already. Human rights lawyer Falana is already calling on these parties to go through every legal means necessary to prove that they are not terrorist organizations instead of dismissing it outright. Now, the judge in question is saying that these parties make use of violence and other coercive means to wield the power that they do. And those are the grounds for his labeling them terrorist organizations. So now we're seeing that things happening in Nigeria are not just seen by Nigerians alone. The global community is watching. This kind of pronouncements has the capacity to lead to deportations. These are the concerns being raised, affect Nigeria's the idea of democracy as a whole.
So when the news broke that you have to provide a 5-year social media account, details, right, before you can get a visa, these are the pockets of issues that yield things like that, right? The modus operandi of our political party and on how they attain power is the issue here, right? Because the world is watching, but we always don't put that into consideration. We think we can just, the anyhowness, go through the elections, rugged it, snatch it, grab it, and run with it, and you think people are not paying attention. I think these international bodies are not paying attention. This is the effect right now. Trying to legitimize your proceedings and you attaining any position is also yielding to the problems we are having today, because we're always going around trying to make sure that I'm the president of the country, I'm the governor, and I went through the process. Is the process rightful? Is the process clean? Is the process seamless, right? We have to put these things into consideration. The by-election just came and gone, and we're still battling the same problems of 2023. So these things are the reasons why they will profile you.
Even the by-elections, that's on one side. We saw what happened during the last election. It's almost as if the election system in Nigeria, the election ground, has become somewhat of a circus. You are seeing security operatives there, whereas you're seeing people buying votes, people calling candidates' names, people doing things that ordinarily should not even be. The people also constitute part of the problem as well, the people in those offices. Because now you're seeing under Canadian law, such behavior classifies as terrorism. When will such behavior be criminalized in Nigeria? Because which arrests have you heard has been made since 2023? The by-election is like a pocket of the issues we're facing. Look at what happened in Enugu South Urban rerun election. Voters were there. INEC ad hoc staff were there. We did not see the INEC officials, but the ad hocs were there, still classified as officials. We saw people just standing around, no election, no communication. And next thing, the INEC officials enter their bus and go. Then they get to the INEC office in a
DRS vehicles there.
Everybody was there. Get to the INEC office in a Kotu, and next thing, it turns into somewhat of a madhouse. People are throwing punches, fighting.
So now you get a reason why. So when you talk about the political parties, who are the people that make up the political parties, humans. We, you and I, right? Political parties, people who breathe. So when you talk about corruption, who are the people who perpetrate all these things? You and I, people who breathe. I'm not saying we are corrupt, by the way. I'm just trying to illustrate something here, right? People are the ones who propel these things. So an umbrella, the political party is a party, made up by its members and all that. And the members are the ones perpetrating these things. The members are the ones who are doing these things. And the members of these political parties are human beings. They're not aliens, right?
That's true.
So when they profile us, that's what, when someone says that what we're experiencing in Nigeria is civil rule, not democracy, then you see the reason why. Because the standard of democracy in the world is what they're trying to use.
See, in a sane climb, and I have to make this point, in a sane climb, by now you have some kind of official explanation from an official. INEC, the INEC rec in Enugu, coming out and calling a media conference. Can the media people come? Let me explain.
What happened?
What happened? What happened at one in boys' secondary school? Come forward, let me explain, and also tell you what is going to happen from then on. Because we just saw chaos and everybody has gone silent. I mean, it seems as if we've used, these pots that they used to make jollof rice here in Alibo, these big pots. And then we've used our hands to cover ourselves. Like we're in there holding the cover over our heads, trapping ourselves inside this pot. It's burning, it's cooking, and we have become the jollof. That is not even getting done.
The thing is, we are in this country right now, right? If the government of the day owns the institution, like the government of the day is being accused of perpetrating or aligning or propelling whatever that happens, or what happened during the by-election, or what happened during 2023 election and all that, is the government of the day. And the government of the day, when they profile everybody runs helter-skelter and start trying to defend themselves like and all that whatnot. But you are the ones who
unfortunately, in this case, Orji, they are not even defending themselves.
What are they? Okay, let me ask this question.
No, let me make my point. They are not even defending. They are not even defending themselves.
What is there to defend?
Orji, they are not defending themselves. What they are doing is they are dismissing it. They are dismissing it entirely.
Dismissing? Okay,
as though it weren't true.
International bodies, they come into the country to supervise elections, right? They report. This is what is playing out right now. They report. We're all up in the Milliken Hill right now, naked, and they're seeing our butts. Yes, because everywhere the breeze is blowing, everybody's seeing us how we are naked. Because they come into this country, right? They watch over the elections. They go through, or they see all these things that happen. When they move back and send in the reports, we dismiss the reports. Now it's playing out. The international bodies are seeing us for who we are. Because here is like a banana island, as alleged, by the way, because we are not following the process. You mean
Banana Republic?
Sorry,
let's not let Banana Island residents not get a little concerned.
I'm sorry to mistake on that. But that's what it is, right? What democracy is, the pattern, the indicators. We are not following suit. We are failing on it. So that's why anybody that says, oh, what we're experiencing in Nigeria is civil rule, I don't even debate that.
Right. You see, it's really unfortunate that this has happened. It's unfortunate that this is where we found ourselves, where major political parties are being labeled as terrorist groups in Canada because this cannot function under their law. Yeah. So I tend to agree with what Femi Falana is saying. These parties should prepare their documents and go and defend themselves. Instead of dismissing the comments as being mischievous, they should go out there and defend themselves. But let's shift away from that headline now and watch what happens in the course of today. Nigerian Tribune, voter turnout concerns over steady decline in 26 years. Now, INEC, the Independent Electoral Commission, National Electoral Commission, has come out to announce that, of course, the online registration for your CVs, as the continuous voter registration exercise has commenced. Now people, Nigerians who are trying to get their voters cards can go online and register for this. After the online registration, then you have the physical registration, right? It has started. But still in line with all we said, there has been no communication whatsoever as to how what happened in 2023 would not rear its ugly Hydra head again in 2027. But people are going to register. And you're seeing Nigerian Tribune saying that this voter turnout is declining. Is it because people have lost hope, don't you think?
Voter apathy is something we're going to experience in 2027 from predictions, by the way, because I think people, they've tried. Like the last election could actually show you that people really wanted a change, and all that. And they are heartbroken. Hearts were broken after the elections and all that stuff, because not what everybody planned out worked, right? It's still INEC making the decisions and picking who is going to be the leader of the Nigerian state, not the people. That's why you could probably see those numbers running down, because at the end of the day, people are asking that question, does my mandate really matter? Does it hold water, by the way? Does my mandate really hold water? Is it going to yield any result? Is who I want to be in that position to help propel the nation the person I'll vote for? And at the end of the day, is the person that is going to be announced the winner. So these are the reasons why what is happening is happening. Everything in Nigeria is dabaru at this point in time. Dabaru, right? Now, over to the political parties. They've deviated from their ideologies. And that's the reason why we're experiencing what we're experiencing right now. So as Falana said, they should go defend themselves, right? That document, that pact, the ideologies of their political party is what they have to revert to, right? This voter turnout that is running low is the reasons why too, is because they're not sticking to the ideology. Apparently, voting or these political positions is now a do or die affair.
Okay, let's take a look at Vanguard newspaper. Of course, the top story here reads: federal government vows equal response as U.S. tightens visa rules. So we're seeing what's happening, what Donald Trump is doing in the U.S., how he's making it very difficult for Nigerians and students as well studying abroad. But federal government is going to have an interagency meeting where they will fashion out some kind of response, of course, in the coming days.
Who do you want to respond?
They have to respond. They have to respond.
So make it stricter for them to get into Nigeria.
That's it. They're going to set out and come up with their own regulations as well to counter it. Yeah. But you see, it all trickles down to the three major topics we've taken this morning. They need to make it attractive for people to come, right? So if they're trying to fashion out an equal response, are they going to see the influx of foreigners or visitors wanting to come if they even go ahead and make it more difficult for them?
You know, if I call this analogy, you say I'm always talking about PR. The PR of Nigeria in the outside of the Nigerian state, right, is what matters now. Even if you're bringing stricter rules for people coming into the country, are things happening here attractive enough to bring these tourists, right? Are things happening inside of here a way to go? Are things happening inside of here something commendable? These are things you have to even lay down and, you know, trying to dissect and understand literally. Because now if you don't start changing the atmosphere of Nigeria and the way the breeze blows from here and outside and how people see what happens inside of this country, you're making stricter rules and whatnot. It still doesn't going to hold water. You're trying to counter to play the giant of Africa, right? But first of all, in-house, in the homeland, are you fixing the rightful things? Are elections free and fair? What's happening in the economy? What about insecurity? Is it being tackled? So all these, what are the things that you've put in place that could attract tourists to Nigeria? That if you put stricter visa rules, right, they will come begging.
Right. I mean, it's very valid points there. Some people will be watching this now saying, but, oh, they're expatriates in Nigeria. They're foreigners here. What are these people saying? People want to come. I know the patriots among us, the patriotism. Well, all patriots. Orji has been saying...
the foreigners...
Orji and I are both patriots, right? So, yes, people are in Nigeria. People want to come to Nigeria. But comparatively speaking, can you compare the number of people that are coming to Nigeria to those who are leaving. We wake up every morning, headlines on brain drain. We need to make Nigeria more attractive. It shows that there's an imbalance somewhere. Let's take a look at this headline too. Daily Sun, paternity scam rises nationwide. Reports show 1 in 4 children likely to fail DNA test. And it's great that you're here because the floor is yours.
I want you to have a conversation on this, right? Because it boils down to women, right? And staying true to what relationship is and all that. Because I'm not blaming the female gender, but they are the holders, right? If they make that decision of being responsible enough to, say the truth or stick to the truth, we won't be experiencing this kind of numbers, right? So that's why I'm going to have you have that conversation and talk to me about it, not me talking to you about it, because that's literally what it is. If the holders are responsible enough to live their truth, we won't be running up these numbers.
Well, room for further investigation. We'll leave it at that. I'm not scamming anybody. I have no plans to scam anybody. I'm not with anyone's child. So yes, we'll watch it. We'll watch and see.
From this question?
No, because it's not. I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, it's not like I've scammed someone or I'm planning to scam someone. So I mean, it's a report, and it has unveiled and exposed this paternity scam.
We're politically correct now.
Yes, it's a scam. But there's room for that investigation. Maybe we'll leave it to Doris Maim Shisha on Gyna Plus, and she can break it down for us.
It's sad that we're expressing this kind of thing in this country. It's not like it wasn't there.
It's everywhere.
It's skyrocketing now. Like, I don't get it, the reason why people align themselves to what they know that literally they wouldn't benefit from at the end of the day, right? The beneficial aspect I'm talking about right here is you holding on to somebody you know that you want to literally grow with and all that stuff, right? Why going the other way and trying to impose, whatever you did at the background to somebody who is responsible?
I think it's quite unfair to lead someone to believe that this is his child.
Even if you made a mistake or whatnot, can you just say the truth? Sometimes there's something people don't know. When you say your truth, you leave.
Well, people need to understand that actions have consequences. Yeah. If you've gotten pregnant out of wedlock or not within the relationship, be it a marriage or you're just having a dating and you have that baby, and then it's not your partner's baby. I mean, how would you let a man raise another man's child ignorantly? You must take him for a fool.
Yeah.
You really must take him for a fool. So I think it's a call to women to be more responsible. And when the mistake has been made, there's always room for forgiveness. Yeah. Come out and honestly own up to your mistake. You've made this mistake.
Don't live through your life hiding some truth inside of you. You wouldn't leave. You're dying inside of yourself. But the moment you utter that truth, you start living.
Yeah, because you're also being unfair to the child. There, the child is thinking that these are his siblings, these are people he's been growing up with or she's been growing up with, and then one day when you finally come out, when the wind blows and the chicken opens up, you now say that, oh, sorry, these are not your real siblings, this is not your real father. I mean, don't you ever watch those movies where you see things that should be done another way happening, and you just wish that the main character would just come out and say it, but they keep on saying, no, I'll tell you later, and then when they now break the news, it's almost like the whole family is disrupted by it. So it's important for people to come out, and once you take an action, make sure that regardless of the consequences of that action, they are strong enough to handle it. You've made that mistake, be strong enough to deal with the consequences. You have to come out and say and have that discussion.
Every action you take in this life got consequences, good or bad, right?
Yeah, so it's a selfish decision.
If you're taking that decision and you know what you're indulging in, make sure you have that temerity to say your truth.
That's right.
At the end of the day. So don't jeopardize another person's happiness and life because of your selfishness.
Yeah, it's a selfish decision to make, and yes, I think we have to address that conversation. We'll leave it for Doris on Gyna Plus to continue to dissect it. Of course, we're making a story too on the Afia Morning Show. We're going on a quick break now. When the morning show returns, we segue into transportation as tongues are wagging in the state about the new transport infrastructure. What are officials saying? What are passengers saying? We'll find out in moments. Stay tuned. you.